hugs. Is that a thing? Head hugs should definitely be a thing. Hey guys, I'm Kristin, also known as Voolenvine, here on my YouTube channel, on Ravelry, and pretty much everywhere else on the interwebs, especially Instagram, where I'm most active when it comes to social media. And as always, I'm so happy that you're taking some time out of your day to chat about all the knitting, all the making, all the sewing, or whatever crafty rabbit hole I happen to be diving down this week. I am back from Tahoe. I took a quick break last week. I didn't record an episode, so thank you for bearing with me and coming back if you are a returning viewer. And if you are a new viewer, welcome to the podcast. I hope you enjoy this episode, and if you do, if you're into the knitting, the sewing, and making all of the things, then definitely I think it's this side. Definitely like and subscribe by clicking the button below, and I upload a video every week, every Friday, for your viewing pleasure. And yeah, let's see if I remember how to do this thing, because I feel like the holidays have just been so crazy that it's become kind of a bi-weekly podcast. But once the holidays are over, I promise we will be back to our regular weekly recording schedule, as they say sometimes. As I like to say, actually. I like the way schedule sounds. I digress. But as always, I have some administrati to cover before I get into the nitty-gritty of the episode. So without further ado, just to cover some knit-alongs that are ending come the end of 2018. I can't believe 2018 is almost over. This year totally flew. Is it just me? But anyway, come January 1st, 2019, I will be closing the Box O Sox Knit Along FO thread. I actually went into the Voolenvine Yarns Ravelry group, created an FO thread for you to enter your finished, complete Box O Sox to enter to win giveaway prizes. And yeah, I relaxed the rules this year. I had originally wanted it to be a selfish knit along. As long as you have a photo of all the socks that you knit in 2018 in that box, in the photograph, posted to that thread, you are entered to win a giveaway prize. I'm going to be giving away prizes to 2 random winners from that thread, and then podcast host choice. I'm going to be choosing my personal favorite box of socks that I think is really creative, really unique, one that just brings a smile to my face, although I've been going through that thread and it's going to be a really, really tough decision because there are so many really awesome, unique boxes of socks in there. So you guys, it has just been a really fun knit along, and I was thinking about not rebooting it for 2019, but I was sitting with Emily yesterday, who helps me out during the week. She helps me dye yarn and package orders and whatnot. She's amazing. But yeah, we were chatting this week and I was like, should I reboot it? Should I not? And it seems like the Box of Socks knit along has become the Voolenvine podcast tradition. So without further ado, I'm happy to announce that I'm going to be rebooting the Box of Socks knit along 2019. However, I will be relaxing the rules quite a bit. I feel like it should be a fun knit along. There will still be guidelines, so be sure to check those out. But I'm not going to be holding to like the socks must be for you. The socks can't be worn until the following year. That's all out the window. It's going to be very relaxed. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that. But for prizes, as I mentioned, I'm still working on prizes. But one of the main prizes for the podcaster host choice giveaway prize, I'm going to be giving away this complete kit because it's a sock knit along sock yarn. And as you probably know, I'm the hand dyer behind Voolenvine Yarns, my hand dyed yarn company, and this is a complete kit of sock yarn that I dyed for a yarn club. And I'm sure a lot of yarn dyers do this, but they have their own personal reserve of yarn that they've dyed that they think that they're going to get to. I set this aside for myself thinking that I'm going to get around to knitting it. However, I don't think that's going to happen, and I couldn't think of a better giveaway prize for this knit along, so I hope you guys are very excited for this. And yeah, so we've got these are all one-of-a-kind colorways. They will never be dyed again, but we have all on Footsie, my Footsie base, which is my 80/20 Superwash Blue Face Luster nylon base. We have Tequila Mermaid, Gatekeeper, and Moonburn. So yeah, that is going to be one of the giveaway prizes for the Box of Socks, and I hope you guys are excited for that. So yeah, that is one knit along coming to a close. The next knit along that is coming to a close is the year of the garment knit along, and that was a super casual knit along, one that I started at the beginning of the year. It was my goal to knit at least 4 garments for myself in the year of 2018. I think I reached that goal. Let me see. I knit the Zweig pullover, I knit the Threat Muir, I finished knitting my Damyaka Lopa by Pinay Gori. What else did I finish? Really, did I finish knitting something else? Anyway, I feel like I have like a bunch of sweaters on the go right now and I have to finish something. So I'm almost at that goal, but it's just been so fun seeing all of you post your garments in that thread. There is not going to be a FO thread. However, I am still working on putting some giveaway prizes together for that. I'm just going to go through that thread and pick a random winner, and you know, I will definitely keep you posted on what that giveaway prize is. But yes, on January 1st, 2019, I will be locking that thread and choosing a winner from that thread as well. So just FYI, get all your finished objects in there and enter to win giveaway prizes. And yes, of course, double dipping is always allowed. And finally, one last knit along that is coming to a close is the Sparkling Cider Hat, which is a hat pattern that I designed recently, and it's just been, you guys, I am blown away by how many sparkling cider hats there are. It's just been, I had no idea. Honestly, it was just a little hat that I whipped up that I was like, let's put it out there, see who wants to knit it. And you guys, there are so many projects and it's making me so happy. But yeah, I'm hosting a knit along for that. That is coming to a close at the end of the year. Still working on prizes for that as well. And one final bit of business that I have to tackle before I get into what I've been making is the Ask Me Anything giveaway. I have to redraw because the winner of this project bag that I hand sewed with love did not get in touch with me. It's been 3 weeks already, so I think the time has come for me to redraw, because there were so many questions, so many entries in that for that giveaway that I would be remiss not to redraw. And I redrew. I used a random comment generator, and the winner is, looking at my computer screen behind the camera, was Becca Gulliver, and I'll pop your name in the doobly-doo right here. And she says, congrats on 2,000K subscribers. My question for you is, are there any crafts that you haven't tried yet but would like to at some point in the future? Well, it's not at the top of my list. I think natural dyeing is something I eventually want to try doing. It just seems like a whole nother, it really blows my mind what beautiful colors you can get from using natural dyes. I know my mother-in-law is a master of dyeing with natural dyes, so I may have to pick her brain at some point on how to do that, or maybe we'll have a dye day someday. Carol, it's happening. Yeah, congrats, Becca Gulliver. Please email me at contact@voolenvineyarns.com with your shipping info, and I will send this project bag that I hand sewed to you as soon as I can. So yay! So just FYI, because I'm always asked this, these project bags are not for sale. I do not sell these in my online shop. These are just little gifts that I whip up for friends and giveaways occasionally. So hope that answers any queries that you might have about that. So yeah, I think that is it for announcements this week. So without further ado, I'm gonna get into what I've been making this week. But first, just a quick word from my awesome sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes in design, business, tech, and more, even sewing and the fiber arts. I love learning new things when it comes to knitting, sewing, photography, or whatever crafty rabbit hole I happen to be diving down. And because I know you love learning new things too, I partnered up with Skillshare, and they are offering my viewers 2 months free to try their platform. So give Skillshare a go and learn something new. Just click on the link in the description box below, entering the code at checkout, and enjoy. And thanks, Skillshare. Okay, so first up, I put a major dent in my Sparkling Cider Hat Part 2. This is the second version of the Sparkling Cider Hat that I'm knitting because I wanted a more versatile version that I could wear whenever throughout the year. The first version that I knit was more on the Christmas side. It's, you know, white, cream, red, and greens, and very festive looking, which I'm all about wearing this time of year. But however, yeah, I definitely want something that goes with a lot more throughout the entire year. So I cast on a gray one using, obviously, my hand-dyed yarn, Voolenvine yarns, holding together 2 strands of Wolke and Ghostlace. And here is where I am with it so far. And I'm using size 6 beads. They're basically seed beads that I'm applying using a crochet hook. And yeah, I can't wait to wear this. It's a little more slow going, obviously, than the first version. The first version I whipped up in 3 days. I think that's the case when you're designing a pattern because you're so excited to get the pattern out that you just, that's all, me as a designer, that's how I work. I just put pedal to the metal and I just focus solely on the design, and I happen to whip it up really quickly. However, the second version, because I'm focused on other patterns, it's taken me just a little bit longer to whip up. Yeah, I really can't wait to wear this because right now I am currently wearing my tied knots hat, and I love this hat so much. I love the yarn. It's out of Fiber Co. I'll try and pop a photo of it here so you know what I'm talking about. I've been wearing the living daylights out of it for the most part this winter. However, I noticed for some reason, I think it's because I did not do a tubular cast on, that the brim is just not as snug as I need it to be. It's just a little bit loose, and it just kind of sits on my head. It doesn't hug my head the way I would like a hat to, if that makes sense. Head hugs. Is that a thing? Head hugs should definitely be a thing. I don't know. Raise your hand if you're with me. Anyway, so, and yeah, especially with the mohair, it's definitely gonna be an extra toasty hat that I'm going to enjoy wearing this year. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to say about it other than I cannot wait to get this off the needles. Again, I'm just so blown away by how many people are casting on this pattern and all the different combinations, the variegated yarns that you're using. It makes me so happy. So anyway, thank you so much to everybody who purchased a pattern. It means the world, and you know, it makes me excited to design more patterns for you guys. So yeah, and that is living in a project bag that I made for myself, which, by the way, I don't know if I showed you guys this, but Gabby, who is the dyer behind Once Upon a Corgi yarns, she just came out with some enamel pins and gifted me, you guys, I don't know how well you can see that, but it's a corgi and it's wearing an oracle shawl. OMG, you guys. You guys, I can't even. Gabby, best idea ever, because she did at one point take a photo. She test knit the oracle shawl for me, another pattern that I designed, and then she took a photo of her corgi wearing the oracle shawl, and then she asked me if she could, you know, she asked permission if she could make an enamel pin of her corgi wearing an oracle shawl. I'm like, hell yes. So anyway, they're available in her shop. I think so, like on her. I'll post a link to where you can get these because it is so stinking cute. Anyway, thank you so much, Gabby. I love that enamel pin. I literally like squeed a million squees when she gave it to me. I was like, that's so awesome. Next up, we have my Engel Sweater, and this is one of the projects that I brought with me along to Tahoe. I posted a photo of all the knitting projects that I was going to bring with me to Tahoe because I had a lot, I think. Anyway, I didn't get to bring all of them just because I couldn't fit it all into my suitcase and carry-on bag, so I kind of had to weed out some of them. So I only ended up bringing 2 patterns with me, and this was one of them. Because yeah, we were only going for 2 days, and I really wanted to travel light. I didn't want to bring a whole bunch of luggage with me. So it just made sense for me to just kind of pick my battles wisely and choose only 2 projects. But my Engel Sweater, you guys, it is... We're leaving Body Island. So here's the top, and I'm currently doing the ribbing for the body. It's happening. Yeah, this is, again, my hand-dyed yarn, Voolenvine yarns on the Smitten DK base, which is my DK weight merino nylon cashmere, which is super soft like buttered kittens. And the main color is, let me see. The main color is my Weep colorway, the same color that I'm knitting my Sparkling Cider Hat out of. And then the contrasting snowflake colors, are these snowflakes? I don't know. They're kind of like, they look like plants almost too. They could be plants. But yeah, the contrasting color is Succulents, also Smitten DK held together with a strand of Ghostlace. And yeah. This has just been an incredibly mindless knit in the round stockinette. And yeah, I've been alternating skeins every row using the Helix Knitting method, which I chat about at length in previous episodes, but of course I will post a link to Grace's tutorial in the description box below, along with links to everything else that I chat about in this episode. But speaking of Grace, I forgot to mention, with the Sparkling Cider Hat, she also created a tutorial. She's like coming out with all these amazing tutorials, you guys. It's wonderful. But she created a tutorial for how she adds beads to her Sparkling Cider Hat. In the pattern, I linked to a video tutorial of how I add beads to my knitting using a crochet hook. However, if you don't have a crochet hook or you want another method of adding beads, Grace has a really awesome tutorial of using, some thread to add beads to your Sparkling Cider Hat. So, of course, links down below. Grace, you are awesome. Thank you for creating that tutorial. So yeah, that is my Engel Sweater, a really awesome pattern by Caitlin Hunter. And next up, Sleeve Island. Sleeve Island. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for Sleeve Island. So that is my Engel Sweater. Next up, living in this beast of a project bag. Again, I sewed this for myself. It's a larger version of the giveaway project bag that I sewed up. It can hold a sweater, and yeah, I needed a really big project bag, so that's what I did. And this is an enamel pin from my awesome friend Dunder Knit. It says, "I'd rather be home with my cat." And yeah, Caroline, it speaks to me on a daily basis. I love this enamel pin so much. But living inside here is a new cast on because yeah, I was craving, after knitting all that stockinette, especially because I'm knitting a sweater for Dennis, which is even more stockinette in the round. I have not touched his sweater all week. I just wanted to work on something on the trip. I wanted to work on something enjoyable for me, just, because it's my vacation too, and I don't know, do I need to give an excuse why I wanted to work on what I wanted to work on? No, I don't. But anyway, I wanted something a little more stimulating, so to speak, a little more fun, a little bit more colorful, because let's face it, I'm knitting all the gray right now. So I needed color in my life, and I needed brioche. And I actually spent all of Sunday scouring Ravelry for the perfect pattern, and I could not for the life of me decide on anything. And then I woke up the next day, and I was just like, what the fade? I want to knit a what the fade. A what the fade needs to be cast on immediately. But then you have to decide on a fade. And when it comes to choosing fades for myself, it causes so much stress. Okay guys, I apologize for any ambient noise you might hear in the background. Apparently there's a lot of sawing and drilling happening on my street. As always, in Bushwick, Brooklyn, it is one of the noisiest parts of Brooklyn, if I do say so myself. But anyway, hopefully it's not too bad and you can hear me fine. But anyway, yeah, when it comes to picking out fades, it's always super stressful for me for some reason. It's ridiculous. I don't like picking out fades. I have I guess an aesthetic, I don't know, in my own brain, it has to be perfect. It sounds ridiculous, I know, but like all the colors have to just be in harmony together, and I really don't know what's up with that. And yes, I do know I can probably purchase a kit. However, I want to make the decision on my own, if that makes sense. I know, it's crazy. So yeah, I know a kit would just solve all my problems, but the fact that I didn't pick out the kit, that I didn't pick out the colors, and usually there's always one color that's off that I don't like, that I wish I could swap out. Anyway, I found a fade for myself out of much delegation. I just pulled all the yarn out of my stash, laid it all out, and then I wasn't looking for my hand-dyed yarn in particular, but for some reason, I know Laura from the Dyers, from Jinx Handmade podcast, she, recently picked out a color combo that she wasn't looking for her hand-dyed yarn, but it just came together as such, and that's what happened in this case. So I ended up pulling out a bunch of one-of-a-kind colorways, Strange Brews that I dyed from Yarn Clubs, and just other one-of-a-kind colorways, and some repeatables, and they just really went well together, and I cast on a What the Fade, you guys, and I'm loving it. It is awesome. So yeah, I'm, still pretty, early on in the pattern, but it's exactly what I was looking for. It's all just mindless brioche colors, and yeah, it's really making my heart sing, and it's exactly what I've been looking for. And I have to say, when it comes to Andrea Mowry patterns, I want to knit all the Andrea Mowry patterns, but for some reason, nothing to do with Andrea Mowry at all, I can't seem to finish an Andrea Mowry pattern. I don't know what it is. I'm like cursed when it comes to her patterns. And I've cast on, I want to say, about 6 or 7 of her patterns, and I've only finished one, and that was the vintage Prim Hat. I'll try and pop a photo of it here. I don't know if I have one, but yeah, that is the only pattern by hers that I've ever finished. However, I have a really good feeling about this one, and I have to finish her throwback cardigan that I am so close to finishing. I'm on Sleeve Island. I don't know why I haven't finished that yet. There's no excuse other than I'm on Sleeve Island with that, and it's gray stockinette in the round. I really need to broaden my horizons. So yeah, I have really high hopes for this because it is just so simple, so mindless, and it's just holding my attention so well. So, yeah. And again, these are my hand-dyed yarns on my Nouveau base. And here's the reverse side so you can see what's happening there. And for the main color, color A, I'm using Succulents, which is a repeatable colorway. And then in the back, I'm using, this was a one-of-a-kind. It was, oh goodness, what was this? I don't remember. I think it was Morgana. Morgana was a Yarn Club colorway, and then over here it's moving along into another Strange Brew, which I called Paisley, and then on the back is, I believe this was Alchemy. Oh, no, I lied. I'm sorry. This is a repeatable that I haven't dyed in a while. It's Tarot. So we have Succulents, we have Paisley, we have Tarot, and we have Alchemy. So that's what's going on so far. And the reason why it's living in this beast of a project bag is because that's where all the cakes are living currently. And the other colorways that I'm going to be using are, let me see, is Thaw, which is a colorway that I dyed up for the Helen Stewart Mystery Knit Along this past year for the Impressionist Knit Along. So that's going to be one of the main colorways in that. So this is Alchemy, actually. I'm getting all the colorways mixed up, but I will link to the project page I will link to the Ravelry project page where you can see all the colors that I'm using and the order that I'm using them, in case you are curious and want to find similar colorways, because 3 of these colorways I don't dye on a regular basis. So anyway, that is my What the Fade shawl. And oh yeah, I forgot to show you guys. I spotted this. I watched Tommy from the Squirrel Pie Production podcast, and she mentioned this one Etsy shop called Charmed and Dangerous, and she makes the cutest kind of like kawaii progress keepers. And I spotted this super cute octopus sashimi progress keeper in her shop. Because guys, if you know me, I love octopus. I love sushi and I love octopus. So it was just like, you're coming home to me. Anyway, I will link to her shop as well. But yeah, just a really, really cute little treat myself, gift to myself, if you will. Yeah, that is what I've been working on this week as far as knitting. I'm trying to look at my show notes if there's anything else. Yeah, that's pretty much all I've been working on. I brought the What the Fade with me to Tahoe as well. I brought the What the Fade and my Engel Sweater. Those were the only 2 that I brought with me. And clearly I got more work done on the Engel Sweater. So, you know, I really want to finish that for Christmas, but I don't think it's going to happen because Christmas is gonna be on Monday, or is that Christmas Eve? Okay, I have until Tuesday. Christmas Day falls on a Tuesday, so there is still hope for me to finish my English sweater to have a Christmas sweater. Not that we have any big Christmas plans, maybe going out to dinner, but still it'd be nice to have a Christmas sweater, and I'm kind of considering that my Christmas sweater if it's done. So I'm rambling. But yeah, that is what I'm knitting on. So I am going to move along to sewing, the segment where I chat about what I've been sewing. And if you've been following the podcast, you might know that I've been in quite the sewing drought. I have not been sewing at all for the past couple of weeks. I don't know why. It's just weeks, months. It's just been pretty quiet on that end of the spectrum. But I am actually wearing something that I just sewed this previous weekend, and guys, I love it so much. And this is the Blackwood cardigan, a sewing pattern by Helen's Closet, and she's one of the co-hosts of the Love to Sew podcast. A really awesome podcast if you are into sewing or even knitting too. It's just a really insightful, really helpful informative podcast about sewing. And a lovely viewer recommended or suggested this pattern. Well, first I saw it on the Fluffy Fibers podcast. Isabel had made one in a really beautiful light powder blue color, and it didn't dawn on me to actually make one until a viewer suggested that I check out the pattern for some other fabric that I purchased. However, when, I don't know, I saw the fabric and the pattern, I was like, maybe not, but this fabric just wanted to become one so badly. So anyway, let me stand up. It's a super long, full-length cardigan, very, very casual. It has super long sleeves, which I am all about because I love pulling sleeves over my hands. And yeah, it goes down to past my butt, which is great. I love that. And then there are pocketses, which are also always a win for me when it comes to outfits and whatnot. So long sleeves, pockets, my hands have a home when I get super awkward and have no idea what to do with them, especially when I don't have knitting, because what do you do with your hands when you don't have knitting? There are elements that I would like to change about it. First of all, the band at the bottom is just a little too long for my liking. I don't know, I would probably split the difference and make it that long. And the other snafu that I happen to do with this, not that you can really tell, but I cut the button band, or the hem band for the shorter size cardigan, so I had to do a little easing into it. But otherwise, it turned out really great, and yeah, and again, I say that it's not the wardrobe staple that I hoped it to be. I really don't know what I mean by that, because this has been getting a lot of wear. Nothing that I wear outside a lot, but just around the house, like especially in the morning when it gets too chilly in the house. This is just great to chuck over and, you know, just lounge around the house in. So it has been getting a lot of wear. And I definitely want to make another one of these out of some different fabric that I ordered recently, because I've just been on a whole treat myself binge these past few weeks when it comes to yarn and whatnot. Sorry, not sorry. But yeah, this has just been a really great pattern, really easy to whip up. I wouldn't say, not counting printing out the pattern and piecing all the PDF pieces together. It took me maybe about 4 hours straight to put this whole thing together. So 6 hours total when it came to printing out the pattern and putting everything together and cutting it out, yada yada. So yeah. Anyway, Blackwood cardigan, highly recommend it, really awesome. And again, yeah, I'm just gonna make a couple of other tweaks to it when I make my next version. Yeah, so while we are on the topic of sewing, I do have a mini fabric haul that I would love to share with you, because as I mentioned, I have been treating myself a little bit these past couple of weeks. I purchased some sewing patterns. Guys, the sewing mojo is back, and it's making me so happy. So I'm going to be taking 2 weeks off in the coming weeks. I think, yeah, from Christmas to New Year's, I'm just going to be off. I'm going to be on vacation, and I'm going to guard that time off like a mama bear guarding its cubs, because I do not want any plans during that time. I don't want any obligations. I don't want to see anybody. I'm going to be really selfish with my time. I'm just going to hunker down, hole up in my craft room here, and just literally make all the things. I may go out a couple of times, but not, like, honestly, I just really want to make all the things without any distractions. I am so looking forward to this. Yeah, but I did go on to fabric.com. I actually get a discount with them because I have a business, a craft business, so I'm not sure. I think you can go on their website and look into it, but I get 10% off or 20% off sometimes. Sometimes they give me more percentage depending if it's like Black Friday. So Black Friday came around and I got 20% off and just went a little to town. And this has been in my cart for quite some time. I've been a little kind of hesitant to pull the trigger on purchasing it because it's very nice fabric, and I'm not very well versed in sewing with velvets. However, this has been sitting in my cart, totally an unexpected color that you'd expect to see on this podcast from me, but I just was drooling over this velvet. It's just so like, I have no idea what I'm going to be making with it, but I knew I had to come home to me, and I had the discount, so I got 2 yards of it, and it's so luxurious, and yeah, we're gonna be making something nice with this. No plans for that yet, but I did splurge on some more sparkly chambray because me and sparkles, I love me some sparkles. I got some gold. I am gonna be making a, what is it called? It's by Green Line Studios, and it's called the Pharaoh Dress. Why can't I remember this stuff? It's called the Pharaoh Dress by Green Line Studio, and originally I didn't think it would be a pattern for me, but just I think in the right fabric, and after seeing Allison, my friend Allison, I think she has like a couple of versions of it, and it has pockets. I just saw the fabric and I'm like, that would be a really awesome Pharaoh dress. Just something, a dress that I could chuck over some leggings and some boots, and yeah, especially because it's sparkly. Yeah, no. So I got 3 yards of this, and yeah, we will be making a Pharaoh dress. And then, but wait, so there's more. I was following Hohi Locatelli. She has an Instagram account called Hohi Sews, and she made a top by Maria Walker, I should say, who's also a pattern designer. She has an Etsy shop and a website. I'll link to it in the dibbly-doo down below. But she has a pattern called the Maya top and dress, and I really wanted to make the dress version. It's just a very simple kind of dolman sleeve tunic style dress with a pocket and a tie in the front. Totally my style. And I want to make it out of challis fabric and something a little bit more drapey, but I definitely want to do kind of like a muslin-esque type of thing, you know, a wearable muslin basically, out of this fabric. So I saw it and I was like, that is going to be a really cute Maya dress. So yay! I just have to pre-wash all these fabrics, and you know, go to town. So I have my work cut out for me for my vacation coming up. I'm super excited. Yeah, and as I mentioned, I did a little fabric shopping damage last night, so I've got more coming. But yeah, that is my fabric haul. And I do have some more stash enhancement to share with you. My Black Friday order actually came through from the Woolen Rabbit. If you are not familiar, the Woolen Rabbit is a hand dyer. She does a lot of dye to order colorways. And she's one of my favorite hand dyers. I don't know if she watches this podcast, but I discovered her through listening to the Electric Sheep podcast, which is sadly a podcast that is no more. It was audio. It was one of the first podcasts that I ever fell in love with. That it was pretty much my gateway drug into podcasts, I should say. Anyway, Hoxton, who hosted the podcast, mentioned the Woolen Rabbit, and I immediately looked her up and fell in love with her hand-dyed yarn. It's just so my style, so my speed. And there's this one colorway that she dyes that I am obsessed with. It's called Chocolate Chambord, and I used it to knit my Smocket shawl by Stephen West. I'll pop a photo of it here so you know what I'm talking about. But when I saw one of the recent issues of Pom Pom magazine, Hohi Locatelli has this really beautiful pattern called Arbor Vitae in there. I think that's how you pronounce it. I really want to knit this sweater as well, and I just could not imagine it being in any other color than chocolate chambord. So when Black Friday rolled around, I took advantage of the discount that her shop was offering and ordered a whole sweater quantity's worth of chocolate chambord on her Airy base, which is her merino singles fingering weight base, and it's all in here. I think I got 5. I only got 5 skeins. I think that's all I need. But here is one of the skeins, and it just, oh my god, it just makes my heart sing so much. But here's her card. Yeah, Kim Caslow is actually the hand dyer behind the Woolen Rabbit. I always forget her name, but yeah, it's just so beautiful. And yeah, I don't know when I'm going to be casting this on. The Arbor Vitae is definitely one of my Make 9 contenders on the list. And yeah, I also want to talk about the Make 9 challenge. I'm going to be participating in it. I'm going to be participating in it. However, I'm going to have a separate sewing Make 9 and then a separate knitting Make 9. But I'm still compiling my list. I'm going to be podcasting about it, letting you guys know what my official Make 9 challenge patterns are. However, I'm not gonna hold myself to it. They're gonna, because I know a lot of you, you know, mentioned how whenever you set out to do a knit along or commit to a knit along, suddenly you don't want to do it. I am the same way. I am exactly the same way. Anytime I know that, you know, I'm like committed to something, this is why I can't even finish my own knit alongs. But yeah, they're just gonna be, it's gonna be like a guideline for myself, like stuff that I would like to knit. If I don't get to it, no biggie. But yeah, the Arbor Vitae is definitely on the list of one of my knitting Make 9 challenge. So yeah, chocolate on board. And yeah, while we were in California, I should say, because Dennis and I actually flew into San Francisco to meet up with our friends and then drive out to Tahoe. So they live in Berkeley, so we stayed with them in Berkeley, and then I realized that in packing my knitting, I was about to hit the ribbing on my Engel sweater, and I did not pack smaller needle sizes to work on the ribbing. So I cheekily asked my friend, who is not a hardcore, she knows how to knit, but she's not like a knitter with a capital K. I cheekily asked her, I'm like, do you know if there are any yarn shops nearby where I might be able to pick up some knitting needles? And she goes, oh yeah, we have one right up the street from us. I'm like, oh, perfect. You know, I'll just be really quick. I'll pop in there and pick up what I need to get. And we were driving looking for a parking spot, and I suddenly saw a sign, and I just did one of these. I'm like, it was a Verb for keeping warm, and I had no clue that was the yarn shop that they were talking about. And I knew they were in California. I just didn't realize that they were located in Berkeley. And I've heard stories and wonderful tales about this yarn shop and their yarn. And I was just like, it's a Verb for keeping warm. She goes, oh, is that a really popular yarn shop? I'm like, yeah, it's a big deal. So, anyway, I was super excited to check their shop out. Unfortunately, I only, you know, we wanted to hit the road. We had a 3-hour drive ahead of us, and, you know, I wanted to go in and get out and not bore my friends to death. So, you know, I only had about 10 minutes to shop around. Thankfully, they were patient with me as I just kind of like poked around. I wish I got photos or video or vlog footage from the inside, because it was a really lovely shop. I didn't realize that they do all their dyeing there in the shop. They have like a whole dye studio in the back, and they have like this whole wall of natural dyed swatches hanging on the wall. It was epic. And they have a really lovely selection of yarns too, not just their own. So I could not come away with some souvenir yarn. And I was gonna get an SQ worth, but I have Vogue Knitting Live coming up, and I have EYF coming up, and I know I'm probably gonna do a little holiday, you know, well, I have been engaging in some holiday shopping as well, but I came away with one skein of yarn, and that is their even tinier Annapurna, I think that's how you say it, naturally dyed fiber, and it is absolutely luscious, you guys. It's luscious. There you go. And yeah, of course, it's in a dark mauve shade, because would you expect anything less from me? No. And it is dyed with, what is it? Okay, it's the colorway name is Mollusk, and it's dyed with, I can't read that, but logwood and madder, and I can't make out the other ingredient. But anyway, again, it's just really amazing, like what colors you can get from natural ingredients to dye yarn. But yeah, it's 80% superwash merino and 20% cashmere, and it is just lovely. And I love the fact that they put the date that it was dyed on. They call it a vintage, like a fine bottle of wine. It was dyed on November 3rd, 2018. So this might be living in my stash for quite some time, because, you know, it's just so pretty. I don't, you know, and the yardage in here is really good too. 565 yards. This might have to be something really, really nice. I also picked, not that I enjoy swatching, but they had one of these. They had this enamel pin that says, you better swatch. And yeah, I don't like swatching as much as the next person, but, you know, sometimes you need the reminder, and it sparkles. So that was my mini Verb for keeping warm mini haul. And yeah, if you are in the neighborhood, definitely pop in the shop. It is just a really lovely shop, and I hope I get to go back there soon. I have an excuse now because our friends live in Berkeley, so right down the street. Moving along, the last thing that I have to share with you this week as far as stash enhancement is concerned is a copy of The Shawl Society Season 1, a book by Helen Stewart. So she's the designer behind all of the Shawl Society collections, and she just released the, or finished up the Sock Society. She does Knit Vent, and she's a genius when it comes to knitting collections, and I love all of her patterns, and I was just so excited when she announced that she was compiling all of her patterns from the first Shawl Society into an actual physical book. And yeah, I could not resist supporting Helen Stewart because, you know, she's awesome, and I'm so glad that we've become friends over the past couple of years, and I was more than happy to support her and, you know, grab a copy for myself, because this shawl right here on the cover is actually on my Make 9 list for knitting, and I think I have enough yardage. I think there's enough yardage in here. And yeah, it just has everything that I want out of a shawl. Lace, beads, yeah, it's happening, I think. So anyway, congrats again, Helen. The book is absolutely beautiful. It's just so well put together. I know she put a lot of hard work into it, and writing a book is no small feat. And yeah, it's lovely. Okay, I think I spoiled myself enough this week, and I think that is all that I have for content of the episode. So I am going to move along to the Blather segment, which is a segment where I chat about what's been happening in my life, should you care to stick around. But just a quick little heads up about shop update. I am going to be having a shop update this Friday, December 21st at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So it will be your last chance to snag some holiday yarn. After this update, I will be hibernating all of my holiday colorways until the following season. And also just a heads up, the orders placed this Friday will not ship until the new year, just to let you know, because I am going on a holiday. I'm taking some time off, much needed time off, just to, as I mentioned, make all the things. And again, sign up for the newsletter if you would like to be informed every week about what colorways and bases are going to be in each update. It's the best way to be looped in about all that info and other stuff surrounding Voolenvine yarns. And there are so many people already signed up already. Again, it makes me just so happy that you guys are interested in my yarns and what's happening with my business. So yeah, and Emily's you know, working really hard lately. I've brought her on for more hours. She's helping me dye yarn and write the newsletter, and she's also started moderating the Voolenvine Ravelry group. So that has been a huge help. So Emily, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You are awesome. Well, I do my best to dip into those groups. It's just really hard to keep up sometimes. So to have her dip in and, you know, answer your questions and, you know, carry the conversation when, you know, I've got other things going on that I can't always devote my attention to in there. It's just been a super big help. So anyway, just, you know, say hello to Emily if you have been chatting in the group. So she's going to be in there too to help answer any queries that you might have revolving around my yarns or the podcast in general. So as I mentioned, Dennis and I went to Tahoe last weekend. We had an awesome time. And the primary visit was so Dennis can go snowboarding with his friend, and his friend's wife and I get along as well. So we're friends. She was actually one of my bridesmaids in our wedding. So, you know, it was really great to hang out with her as well. And, you know, while the guys went snowboarding, she and I went to the spa and had some massages. And you guys, it was really, really, really nice. Oh my gosh, you guys, Tahoe is absolutely beautiful. I have not seen scenery, like, I don't know what I could compare it to. And I am not a nature person, or I am not outdoorsy by any means. I'm not, when you say, Kristin, let's go for a hike, I don't exactly leap out of my chair saying, yes, let's seize the day. No, I am not that person. I am indoorsy. I could not resist getting out and just enjoying the scenery because, I don't know, California, just everything there is just so majestic, so vast and epic. I can't describe it. But we saw one of the most beautiful sunsets that I've ever seen in my entire life. And yeah, I did my best to get some photos, but I don't even think the photos did this sunset justice, just the colors and everything. So yeah, that was really beautiful. So we had an overnight flight, and amazingly managed to get some shut-eye. I think I got maybe 3 solid hours of sleep on the plane. I did take one of those NyQuil pills. It's not NyQuil itself, but it's like their sleeping aid NyQuil, which really, really helped. However, when I woke up, I was super groggy, and unfortunately, I did have to Dennis had to go to work that morning, and I had to get some work done. Emily came over, helped me package orders from last week, and I dyed yarn for the yarn clubs. Or no, I already dyed the yarn clubs, but they had to be shipped out. So the final installment of the Lost Reindeer yarn clubs were shipped out and done. So anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to a break this week, this coming week. So anyway, lots going on, clearly. And yeah, so other than that, I'm trying to think what else is going on, other than I'm taking a vacation, Tahoe was fun, and looking at my show notes. Yeah, I am actually thinking about well, the new year is coming up. I don't really make New Year's resolutions at all, but I was inspired to read The Happiness Project by Gretchen Rubin. I know Emily had mentioned, or she got me into listening to the Happier podcast, which is hosted by Gretchen Rubin and her sister Elizabeth Kraft. Love that podcast. I can just binge listen to them all day long. They just have like so many like really awesome life hacks and tips and tricks and everything. It's just such a good listen to. It makes me happier. And I was also listening to the Curious Handmade podcast with Helen Stewart, and she is completing her happiness project for 2018. There again, it's like very relaxed. There's, you know, if you don't, 9 out of 10, you don't finish all the things on your list of things you want to accomplish in 2018, but I'm slowly but surely compiling a little list of things that I want to do in 2019, such as print more photos. Like, I'm taking all the photos, I just have to print physical copies and put them into albums. So I'm going to make an effort at the end of every month to just compile all my photos and order physical copies and put them into albums. Not enough hours in the day, but I'm going to make a really strong effort to do that. And also decluttering. I've done a pretty good job of decluttering this past year, but I'm definitely trying to be more ruthless about tossing things that just take up space, don't bring me joy, and the like. So definitely continuing to declutter all the things and, you know, making room for all the yarn to just come back into my life. But yeah, just trying to be more mindful about what's coming into the house and going out of the house, because yeah, I really have to watch what starts accumulating and whatnot. So anyway, writing a list. I'm sure I'll do one more episode before the end of the year where I'll chat about what's on my happiness project to-do list. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun just kind of thinking about it and journaling about it and coming up with all these ideas. But yeah. So I think that is it for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. As always, if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe below. I put out an episode every Friday, and yeah, as always, I really appreciate you hanging out and spending time with me, as I just mentioned, and wishing you guys happy holidays, whatever you celebrate, and I hope you are just enjoying the time, spending time with family, friends, and getting all the making done, all the knitting, sewing, and what have you. So I will be publishing at least one more episode before the new year, so I will see you then. Happy knitting. Bye!